first, I just want to say thank you for all the really lovely comments from the last video, not even that long ago, when I said, I feel stuck. That doesn't mean I am stuck. It says I feel stuck. And the reason that's so important versus I think I'm stuck is what it has to do with that title. And in the title today, I've already done 50 versions of this. I think it's time to come out. I think it's time to identify. Here's the truth. I just want to be a girl, and it feels like an impossible dream. I don't think it's impossible. I know it's not impossible. It feels like an impossible dream. And I want to answer that on the other side of this. Deep breath, and we'll see you on the other side. So there's a lot of stuff I just put in that little tiny segment. Think, feel, impossible, dream, and a girl. Now, obviously, I'm an older woman. I am not a girl, but you see me talk about this over and over again, about how I want to let go of the masculine and remember the feminine within me. And I am fascinated with how difficult that is. Who knew it would be so hard to just be a girl? But here's the thing. There's a couple things I want to do. One is think versus feel, right? The feminine is really our feeling and our emotional state of being, and the masculine is our mental thinking state of being. And I happen to be pretty much split down the middle. There's a test you can take that's a 10-question test that will tell you if you are more of a thinking person or a feeling person. You can also do is it the Myers-Briggs test, that IN whatever you are, which really is, are you intuitive, introvert, extrovert, perceiving, judgment, thinking, and feeling. So those little quizzes and those tests give us a lot of information about ourselves. But what's so different about this moment in time is that we are in this huge transformational process. And, there's a lot of feminist bashing, and I'm going to talk about that in another video. But one of the reasons I struggle, with my own feminine energy is that, one, I'm not wired like most women. I think way more like a man. I feel strongly, but at the end of the day, this is my wired for danger. I would rather have a mission than a relationship. And that's really the way most men feel. I prefer respect to love. And that's a very masculine way of being in the world. And I'm not helpless. I am extremely competent, which makes it very difficult for me to feel feminine when I have to be super competent because I'm alone. I have to take care of everything, the inside of the house, the outside of the house. Survival, very masculine. Chop wood, carry water. Women can do it, but it's really very much in the body in a very masculine way. It's very survival, off-grid, all this stuff is very masculine. My clothing is very masculine because women's clothes suck. They are not built for hard work and dirty labor. They have pretty versions, but they don't hold up, or they're wildly expensive, and then they're filthy in a matter of days. So, I defaulted into men's clothings just because it was practical. Pick it up at the thrift store, pay $1, ruin it. A month later, we throw it out. So what you see here is my latest version of trying to address this constantly being dirty and ruining my clothes. Maybe I can wear an apron. I've already gone through 2. This is my last apron I'm about ready to blow through. It is a battle to be a girl in this survival world, in my brain and in the realities of my day-to-day life. But as I said in the last video, we're just under a lot of pressure, and right now we're at this precipice where things could radically change. And when I was thinking about what do I want to do, because as someone put in the comments, it is true, like every day could be our last day. What's left for me to accomplish that I really haven't mastered within myself? The external isn't important to me, which I know, it doesn't fit with the world of consumption and things, but the one thing that matters to me that I just haven't got done is being a girl. And a lot of that is think and feel. And so I kind of ran an experiment. I did a writing post on my Substack that was intellectual, and then I shared that last video, which was feeling. I didn't say I am stuck. I didn't say I think I'm stuck. I said I feel stuck. And the type of responses were night and day. The intellectual post got intellectual responses and a bit of a pushback at my thoughts. The feeling video got, the bugs are here. The feeling video got connecting feelings towards me. We like you, we love you, we support you. Now maybe people didn't hear the underlying message that I was trying to offer, but there was a connection in that response that makes me feel good. The intellectual pushback doesn't, because I don't care. I don't need to be right. I'm seeking to understand. I'm not asking you to believe the way I understand to validate my belief system. I don't care. This is, to me, what's important is my experience within the world, which is wildly different than almost everybody else's, which is why it's so hard for me to be a girl, because I'm just not built like most women. I'm just not. And that's what really got me on this Wired for Danger idea. About 10% of women, from my understanding, are wired with a more masculine kind of brain. And we don't fit into the world very easily, but I think that we are very valuable in the world. And one of my big ahas in this last year, as I've tried to talk more and more about being wired for danger, is I have again slipped back into the masculine aspects of that. And that's because most men are given permission to go out and be wired for danger. Your warriors, your firefighters, your soldiers, your CEOs. And the women who are wired for danger are all mostly doing it in a very masculine way because we like it and it's fun. It's hard to look at me and say, I want to be a girl, and understand what that means. Within the next breath, I'm also going to tell you, I love the masculine and the violence within me. And who understands what that means? Just a few tiny people do. And when you do understand that conflict, it makes me feel not alone. And so I've experienced it very rarely to have another woman understand what I'm really talking about. But I just feel really strongly that my experience has value, especially what's going on in the world. And even if the internet shut down and the lights went out and I was just sitting here by myself till I, ran out of food and wasted away, I still want to do this before I leave this planet. I want to be a girl. And it's very different for me than it is for most women. That what love is very different for me. What peace is very different. What power is very different. What's important, what I value is very different from most women. One of the things that I struggle with is if you look at what women are watching, like if I say I want a more female audience, because I have mostly men, They watch things like clothing and houses and exercise and diet and skin and health and hair and all these things that are of value in some way, but they're not valuable to me as a wired for danger human. And I'm interested in the real stuff, the uncomfortable stuff, the risky stuff, the dangerous stuff, because I believe that it is in the experiencing the danger that I find my greatest wisdom. Really hard to watch, difficult to do, very valuable to me. Sorry, the flies they're coming. I've got the dogs out, so I have to go in the playpen, so I got to go get them. So anyways, I want to be a girl. So that's what I'm going to try to do, and who knows what's going to actually happen with that. But part of being in the world, I believe, is being accountable. And so maybe one of the best ways I can be accountable is to put it out there publicly and see if I can own it and follow through. So can I stay focused? Can I stay organized? Can I stay on topic? I have no idea, because right now, our attention is being pulled in 1,000 different ways. But in my mind, in my heart, and in my spirit, I just want to be a girl. And one of the things I would like most is to not be wearing dirty clothes all the time. But in the 12 plus years I've been doing this, I have yet to find a way forward with that. So I just wanted to say thank you for your lovely comments. I'm going to end with one thing. When I wrote that intellectual post over at my Substack, I made the statement at the very end. It just popped out of me. And to me, the whole thing was worth it. Hate doesn't build bridges, it blows them up. I want to build bridges. I like the connection, even though as a soul I am super isolating. I like solitary. I like solitude. I like being by myself. But I love connection around ideas. I love connection in terms of moving ourselves forward in a positive way. I believe connection is the way forward, not division. And hate does not build connection. It connects people who like to be hateful, but it does not build connection. It does not allow for expansion. It is a contracting energy. It's an angry energy. It's a fearful energy. I want to build bridges. And I haven't known how to do that as a girl. So that's my work, my goal, my hope, is to stay in the feeling more than the thinking, to bring value back to emotion instead of this focus on being over emotional that makes thinking people really uncomfortable. There's a whole psychology around that. We'll talk about that later. But for right now, I want to say, I don't want to think about being a girl. I don't want to defend why it's hard to be a girl. I just want to feel like a girl. And I don't even know what that means, because I know my experience as a wired for danger brain in this process is wildly different than what most of you are experiencing. But it's not a right or wrong. It's just who we, each person of us are, who we are. And it may be that I can never speak to the wired for danger boys because they won't respect me and my feminine version, but it doesn't mean it doesn't count. So with that, it's a brand new day. I'm going to go get the dogs, figure out how to get the dirt off of them because they can't wear aprons, and we'll see you next time.